Simply put, is considerably flatter than a pancake.
Well, I mean, that probably means that there aren't a lot of mountains, right?
Wow. Yeah.
And then the next step here
then,
is guess what?
I mean, yeah. You say that the Earth is flat, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to do with that, you know.
The next step is
I mean, if
Kansas
it's
isn't even
in
the
a plane,
flattest.
of course it's going to be flat, yeah. But still, the Earth is round. I mean, I don't know how big Kansas is.
Well, that's
but
500
probably-
kilometers or 600 kilometers. They did.
Well, I have no idea, but it probably curves.
No, it's flat. It's flatter than a pancake. If you were to compare 600 kilometers of Kansas versus a pancake, Kansas is damn flat. A pancake has more curve than Kansas does.
Relative
Not
to
more
size.
curve. Wait a second, not more curve. It's more elevation changes.
Exactly.
Scaled, obviously. But
So
that's different.
curved.
O sea, es un argumento un poco mierda, ¿no?
Are you talking shit about shit?
Yeah, Jaguar, English only.
Oh, sorry. And let me ask a question. Do you guys believe in space, or do you think there is a dome or something? Hello?
Are you good with the Earth being flat first, or do you have to? Because let's go back around. Let's do it again until you get that part.
No. But,
let's talk about the ground. Yeah, let's literally talk about the ground before we go into the sky.
But can you please answer?
Yeah, can you? Where are you at right now? Do you understand the Earth is flat or not?
Yeah, very flat.
Okay. And so what does the sky have to do with it?
I'm asking because I've seen some flat earthers that say that there is a dome, and I want to know if you guys believe that, or do you believe in space?
Yeah, that's a Copernicus model. Copernicus rolled out the heliocentric model, and he said the firmament contains all of creation. It's a glass dome, a glass cylinder or circle, sphere, that is right outside of Saturn. So that's
Saturn.
the people, Saturn. Saturn, the universe just abruptly ends as a pressurized
Are you
dome
for
at
real?
that point. Yeah, look it up. Look up. That's what I'm saying. When people start kind of rip on the firmament, what they're doing is they're burning the church. Because now they can't use any of Newton or Copernicus. It's all gone. All of it.
Newton was very based.
Yeah, he drank mercury because he thought he'd shit gold, and then played with
Died a
dolls.
virgin.
What?
What's wrong with playing with dolls, Crit?
Yeah, after you're a certain age, okay? I mean, like, I get it, there's dolls for boys now.
Newton was a genius, bro. Newton was like Jesus Christ.
Dude, he drank mercury because he thought he was going to shit gold.
So
okay?
Jaguar, you're aware that Newton did not believe in the theory of gravity, right?
What?
Newton did not believe in his own theory. You know that, right?
Well, I mean, Newton literally did gravitational.
Yeah, and he didn't believe in it.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Well, still, he made it, and it kind of works. So,
it works. What kind of arguments are that?
well, if it works, it means it's real.
Means what? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
So epicycles, do you know what that is?
No.
It's the Ptolemaic model of how the planets move. That works.
Okay, repeat. Wait, repeat. The name.
Epicycles. Ptolemy.
Epi, no sé qué. No me entero.
P-T-O-L-E-M-Y. So Ptolemy was a Greek astronomer, and he came up with a model, a geocentric model of how the planets move.
Geocentric.
Yes, geocentric.
Well, that's
and there's
BS.
orbits. Listen, and There's orbits within orbits, right? They're called epicycles, and they work. So they must be true, right?
What?
But then you have the Copernicus
Oh.
model. That works. So it must be true, right? And then you have Kepler's model. That works. So it must be true, right? You have 3 models that all make the same predictions. Which one is true? Because they all work.
I don't think so.
Yes? No, they do. They
Just,
all work.
Get 6.67 times 10 minus 11 multiply by mass divide radius squared.
Yeah. Great.
You get the
address what
fucking gravity
you
of the
didn't address
planet.
what I just said.
Is that bullshit?
You're trying to change the subject, dude. Yeah, that is bullshit.
Yes, because I am from.
I don't care where you're from.
Hungary.
You know
Yeah,
how
sorry.
things work.
What?
Look, I just gave you 3 models of planetary motion that all work. Which one is true?
But why do they work? What are you talking about?
What do you mean, why do they work? If I want to know where Mars is going to be tomorrow night, where it was going to be in the sky, I can predict that using 3 different models.
Using Stellarium.
Not Stellarium, dude. Yeah, this is typical Goldberg nonsense. You make a statement, you get shown wrong, and now you act like a retard.
Wait. I'm getting pings.
Yeah, no one cares.
Next.
Exactly. Fucking next.
Me next.
You go on and on about free will suddenly again. Like, dude, that's like nails in a chalkboard.
Oh,
Yeah, what do you got
nothing.
besides free will and determinism?
I've
It's
been
really
here
dumb.
for months.
You know
the
that,
fact
right,
that I've
Britt?
only ever brought free will up today. You're acting like I always talk about it.
No, I mean, this is the type of thing when you hear someone talk about free will, you're like, okay, I saw you watched an introductory to philosophy video 101.
I have a
on YouTube.
degree.
Then you know
degree in-
that day one question, the professor tells you, hey, even if you don't know what it is, you still act as if it's true. Otherwise, nothing works anymore. Nothing makes sense.
Whose side are you on?
I'm trying to tell you that this thought-provoking experiment about how to learn how to articulate your ideas in this conversation that professors and introductory to philosophy do, isn't something you're supposed to take outside the classroom. That's like the one day thing. He kind of wows you with his ability to articulate philosophy.
Wait,
After
okay.
that, you move on. Okay, you move on past that.
I rarely ever talk about this, right? But you brought it out of me, Crit.
How?
But no, not that topic. This topic.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
This is what you're saying. This is introductory to philosophy. I agree. It's a dumb topic. It's a topic that no one should ever debate because it's obvious, right?
Okay, good. That's a mute. No, I'm just joking.
No, I was agreeing with you.
Go ahead.
It's a dumb topic. I just think that the only reason we're talking about it is because I made an argument as I was requested to, and people disagreed with it, which I was surprised by. Very basic argument as well.
Talking about the topic of the room, Imagine Dead.
Oh, why does everyone ask me about this topic and I reply, and then someone else says, "Why are you talking about this?"
No, you brought it up in the first place, dude.
He asked me about Crit mentioned
No, I
free
didn't
will.
ask you. I was making like a kind of like, holy shit. It's your turn to talk as long as you make the decision not to put your nails in the chalkboard again.
I think I debate. I mean, well, sure.
I don't think I've ever heard you say your reason for why you think the ground is a ball.
I did many months ago, but
The flush.
Just
It was
whatever.
the toilet flush.
The toilet. Oh wow.
that was the first thing I said. All right, give me a break. But
He's a
the-
troll.
I'm not very, everyone knows me. I'm not very physics oriented, but I base it off a series of evidences, a set of evidences that I think leads to the best possible explanation. I don't base it off a knowledge claim at all.
Okay.
But I think flat earthers don't either. I think they only have evidences and they don't have any knowledge claims. They just LARP like they have knowledge
Well,
claims.
Crit knows. He says he knows.
Yeah, 100%. There's no doubt in my mind the Earth is flat and stationary.
So there's a debunk right there.
And you can test this yourself.
Can you give me an argument?
Yeah, so nothing new under the sun.
Okay, well,
Is that true or false? Is it something new under the sun or nothing new under the sun?
That's a flat Earth model prediction. Seriously, you got to go with it.
The sun is above you, the Earth is below, and nothing new under the sun. The same set of conditions that exist today are the same set of conditions that existed 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, in 1,000 years in the future, 10,000 years in the future. If you really break it down, we're just cavemen. We're still cavemen. Tribals of cavemen are just caves, are slightly more comfortable.
I think the better question then is, because you're just saying we have ground below and sky above, right? That's fine.
Yeah, that's true, right? Or is that false? Is there sky below you or is there sky above you?
Well, interesting question. But
the sky's above, right?
Well, in my immediate vicinity, yes.
Okay, well there you go.
As far as the question of whether or not you think, you definitely know there isn't a sphere that we're standing on.
Oh, that's easy. You just look at these superstructures that humans have constructed. The St. Louis Sea, St. Lawrence Seaway, Panama Canal.
See, I heard that
those superstructures have no account for curvature.
I heard that's not true. The AI bot told me so. And Verrazano Bridge in New York has a few degrees off at the top because of curvature. Well, that's all I'm saying.
Nonsense.
The AI bot told you so?
The AI bot told me so, yeah. But the thing is, a knowledge claim has to be pretty concrete, meaning not much room for other possibility, right? So, as far as I can tell, that's not been demonstrated.
Is compression loading something you can know?
I'll syllogize it.
You can know that what compression loading is. And therefore you wouldn't think that a deviation at the top of two towers of a bridge are due to Earth curve.
Did you say know what it is?
Are you denying that compression loading exists?
I'm saying it doesn't mean that because it exists, that therefore that is what is going on there.
Okay, what is going on then?
Well, people think that there's covered the Earth, and that's why the Verrazano Bridge in New York leans slightly.
They think it, but they don't know it, huh?
But you don't know it's not that.
You don't know what compression loading is.
So what I was saying was that I don't have a knowledge claim, but neither do you. You just have an idea, right? That's the sad truth.
I know what compression loading is.
You don't know that's the cause.
Loading.
You think
I know what compression loading is.
You don't know
really?
That's the you think
I know
it's the
what
cause.
Compression loading is, so I know it is the cause.
Oh, okay. Give me an argument then.
This is easy, okay?
You know,
I'll tell you, Britt. Okay, listen, for fuck's sake. Look, holy shit. So if you're playing tug of war, you see the two sides, they pull against each other. They lean away. And what that does, it pulls the rope tight. Okay? So when you put pressure back on the rope, it will want to drop down. So if you got those two groups of people, they're standing straight up, they're not leaning off away from each other, that rope will give more slack if you put weight on it.
How do you
That's
know?
why they pivot them away. It's like a tug of war to keep the bridge up.
How do you know that of the fraction of lean that there is, how much is dedicated towards that versus a curve? You don't know. How could you know? Tell me that.
Because a curve wouldn't work with that concept. You wouldn't be able to bridge. Okay, this is where you need to go to a physics 101 class. And they show you like a bottle of water.
Do you get all of your knowledge from 101 classes?
No, I'm saying if this is all it takes is to fuck you up as a physics 101, that's all you should be able to think like, huh? So you've got this. They show you this like structure you build in physics where it angles away and it keeps it level. Like they'll have like a 2-liter bottle sticking out of it, and it's angled one way, and the 2-liter bottle's angled the other way, and the center of gravity goes right down the middle.
Yeah, you've described that, but how do you know that is what's going on?
Yeah, now do that with a curved surface. What happens?
It leans at the top, not at the base.
It falls over.
No.
Yeah, it'll fall over.
No, not necessarily.
Yes, it will. Try it. Take that same
build a bridge.
Take that same object, okay? Balance it out. You can use like a domed one or whatever, and then put it on like a giant yoga ball or something, or put it on like the roof of your car if your car's got a domed roof.
This is giving.
Put it on put it on something that's curved.
This is
and
giving
it won't work.
This is giving the same energy as when T-Dub said you can't make a curve with 2 balls, a curved shadow, and I did it, and then I posted it, and then nothing. Right? I think you don't have an argument for why
you're talking about.
Well, you're just saying
you think curve is flat.
You're trying to make an analogy for a structure. I want to know how you know that structure is not in any way, shape, or form tilted slightly due to curve at all.
Yeah, because there's no curve shown at all. Like where is this curve at?
So it has nothing to do with structures then. So why are you talking?
Yeah, it does. The structure of the object is built on the flat stationary surface.
Okay, but that's just begging the question.
So you're just accounting for curvature. Okay, how about this? There's curve there, but it's so small, it's so minimal, it can't be detected, can't be shown, can't be mathematically proven. You just trust you, bro. There's curve there, but it's
question begging because you're saying that structures prove curve, but that structures prove flatness, but you can't have structures without flatness.
No, your claim was that the curve or the tilting of the pylons matches the curve of the Earth.
Pylons? Did I say pylons?
Yeah, that's what they're called, right?
Well, what? Wait, the tip. We're talking the very tip, not the whole thing, just the very tip. Yeah. Of the Verrazano Bridge. That's a pylon? I don't know.
It would be the whole thing. Yeah. What are you thinking? It would be the whole thing. You think just the tip? What are you talking about?
Well, the base isn't tilted.
Yeah, the base has to be tilted too.
The base would have to be. What are you talking about?
You're retarded.
The whole thing would be matching the curve.
Oh, you are.
Just get the blueprints. Do you have the blueprints?
I don't. I'm just saying that they don't know that this is the case. It has to be this.
You don't know what compression loading is.
I know nothing about it, but just saying that this is what it is isn't saying that this is what's causing it.
Well, there you go. You don't know.
Yeah, but saying that this exists isn't the same thing as saying this is what's causing it.
So the towers are tilted, right?
Allegedly.
You suffer severe cognitive debilitation.
Not an argument. Try again. Round 2.
If they're tilted, then they're not vertical. It's that simple, right? Yeah, yes, that's a scary question.
But yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, there's 2 kinds of flat Earth, right? There's the Jerry flat Earth, which is just like,
yeah, Jerry says not a flat Earth. So you're failed again.
I mean, Jerry horizontal plane Earth, right?
No, he didn't say that either.
Pretty sure that's what he believes in. But either way, no. that's more based on Euclidean stuff, and you know, that argument was done a lot like a couple of months ago. But then there's other forms of flat Earth, which is just Black Swan flat Earth, and that is garbage. You think you have the knowledge claim when you don't.
What's garbage about you think gravity causes a curved line of sight to the horizon? What's garbage about debunking that absurd notion?
Just saying it's absurd doesn't make it so.
Talk about the Verrazano-Narrows Bridge.
You think gravity... Go on, Ed.
No, I was going to say, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, he says that it's definitely due to... what did he say? Someone help me out. What phrase did he say? Compression loading. And I said, how do you know it's not due to... there's no fraction of that's due to anything else. And he doesn't So we're in
Well,
a
you
circle
brought
now.
it up first, saying it was an example of
No.
ball.
Someone brought
Yeah.
up structures first.
Britt, what do you want
Okay,
for Christmas?
and then you said people say that the tops of them are tilting away from each other.
Yeah, which is not an affirmative claim. It's a disputing the
Yeah,
affirmative.
it's bullshit.
It's disputing the affirmative. Because if you just throw out stuff and say this is what it is, and I say,
Well, you said people
"Nuh-uh,"
say. Are you
have
one
to-
of these people?
I don't know much about it, but I can
Yeah,
contend.
so
But then
glad we can talk about it.
But then when I say that it might not be what you're saying it is, then you have to really try and tell me why you came to the conclusion that it definitely is that, and you haven't done that.
Well, you said you don't even know what compression loading is, and
Does
then
it
you got
matter?
to
You still haven't
compression
demonstrated
loading
anything. It's your claim. I don't have to demonstrate it.
Compression loading. We demonstrated it. Compression
You
loading.
said
Go
what
look
it is. You haven't told me how that's the cause.
Look it up. You don't know anything about what
Does
you're
it
talking
matter?
about.
Does it matter? You have to not go. Don't just say what it is. You have to then demonstrate this is what's happening at the Verrazano Bridge because X, Y, and Z. Right? There's this thing, feature, this engineering feature.
You said just the top.
You don't know that though. You're just pretending to know it.
You don't know that.
I'm good in the sense that I say when I don't know things, but you go a step further and say it is this, but you won't tell me why you think it's the case.
Compression loading. That's what dodges. What are you talking about?
Why is that necessarily? Why is that necessarily? Why is that necessarily what's causing a tilt at the Verrazano Bridge?
Because it's measured level.
What makes you think the towers are tilted away from each other?
Well, allegedly, they are tilted away.
Allegedly, the bridge itself has a thermal expansion of 12 feet. What the hell is a couple inches going to matter?
Doesn't matter.
No, it wouldn't matter. So why would they even bother tilting them away? They didn't engineer it for them to tilt away.
I agree.
They made them level at the spot. The idea that they're tilted away is conceptual. It's not based upon anything. Someone using their imagination. I go on a globe of 3,959 miles radius. Therefore, if I have two uprights, they're this tall. That means they're going to be this far apart across from each other.
So they didn't measure it. They just thought it would be.
No, you can't even measure to that level of precision across that distance.
I see.
Well, what is it? 1/5, 1 and 5/8
So
of an inch.
If that's the case, how can people? But by the way, Indio, you missed the start of this. If that's the case, and it's just conceptual, and people are saying, "Well, this is," but what would it be the case, right? Then how can someone sit and say structures demonstrate this? That it's definitely not tilted. Everything is completely vertical to the ground, no tilt whatsoever, like bridges. If you can't measure it anyway. Because that's what I'm disputing. I don't think they know if structures prove flat Earth, right?
Put it this way. Within the tolerance of the measurement, fucking things could be 2 feet fucking farther apart at the top or 2 feet closer. We don't know. And unless somebody gets up there with a goddamn tape measure or some other method like electronic distance measurement, nobody else is ever going to know either.
I agree with you, actually. And I'm going to put that to Crit. What do you think? Because that was your argument.
Chances are they're tilted apart for other reasons.
Could be.
Because it's a suspension bridge, and typically you don't have the uprights because
the
moment of the downward force, right? If you have the upright, you have the cable. It's at an angle, right? So it's pulling at an angle. So it's the weakest. Oh shit!
I agree. That could be the case. I don't think
it's weakest laterally. So you're going to tilt them away, so there's less lateral force.
I just think you can't arrive at a knowledge claim based on this sort of line of argument with buildings and structures, and if they're tilted slightly or not, or what's causing the tilt. I mean, all I've got so far is it's got to be this. Which is kind of funny.
No, I said superstructures, the Panama Canal, the St. Lawrence Seaway, and Suez Canal. Because what's great about these is it shows the flow of water also.
There's another thing about the Panama Canal that I think the AI bot, right? My instructor on physics and engineering, stipulated that it doesn't need to account for curvature. So why do you think it does?
It doesn't need to? Okay, there we go. Flat.
Well, why do you think it has to account for curvature? What do you think you have to see when you look at the Panama Canal?
A hump or a
A
drop.
hump.
That's what it's either one or the other. And since it's a canal, there's no water flow, so it's
Yeah, the
horizontal.
Panama Canal lifts up from sea level all the way to a lake that's in the mountains. Then the ships sail across that lake, and on the other side, it drops it down to sea level.
How many kilometers? How many kilometers in width and length is the Panama Canal?
You all right?
I'm dying. Sorry.
Okay, what I was saying. Hold on. What I was saying was the vertical tower is a lateral load. It's at weakest, right? The tower's made to take a vertical load, not a lateral load, like sideways. So if it's upright and you have a cable that's pulling to the side, right, you have a lateral load. You do have an upright load, a vertical load, but you also have a lateral load of the pulling of the cable. So typically in suspension bridges, they camber or tilt the uprights away from each other, so that some of that lateral load is transferred to the vertical load. So they might have just done it, if they did do it, just because.
No,
But
at all.
chances are they just made it vertical, and that the idea that they're tilted away is based upon the idea that, because you can't even measure to that tolerance, man. Because concrete, it cures at different rates and at different timings. You know what I mean? You can't. It's just not. You would have to have so much precision over that length. It would be something like 1/64,000th of a fucking inch precision for every 10-foot length. Like, that's not happening.
Well, I'm more. I mean, that's fine. It could be the case. As far as I'm concerned, I'm more interested in
the Humboldt Bridge, right? There's that other bridge, the bridge that's in Scotland or whatever, the Humbar Bridge, or
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a Dogs Are Gods likes to bring it up. There's some bridge over there in England.
There's one in Bristol.
The towers are tilted away.
There's a famous one in Bristol. I don't know if that's one you're referring to.
Yeah, it's impossible to quantify what it is.
Yes, I agree. But they were saying it is possible. So I was just curious about that.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your best evidence, Jesus Christ, man, good luck to you.
What was I gonna... Who was I talking to just before? Someone remind me. Is it Crit or is it someone else?
Crit.
You know what? I do know everything, by the way. I just can't remember it all at once.
It was like Into the Break in Old House. Into the Break told you about the
compression loading.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So I want a knowledge. I want something where it's like it has to be
nothing new under the sun.
Well, you said that earlier. You just talked about structure.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be that way. There's no other explanation.
When you say nothing new under the sun, how do you know it's not a ball you're standing on?
Because they made a positive claim. They said this would mean something for humanity. This truth, this idea that the Earth is a globe has a cause and effect relationship, like a renaissance. This is
to what?
To the way humans react to each other.
What?
In the environment.
How's that falsifying a ball?
Because if without this cause and effect relationship, there isn't any environmental conditioning happening. Nothing new under the sun. No change.
I feel like you're deviating far away from knowledge claims here.
It falsifies the ball model.
See, the failure of the globe model is that it fails to offer an explanation on how to deal with those who disagree with it. Or, if it does offer that, then it's a globalist. You're rejecting the model yourself, which makes you a science denier. Because it's either a problem with the globe model or a problem with you.
I think there's two possibilities, right? More than two, but these are the two I'm going to stick with. Either what you're determining it is a falsifier of the model that they tell us is not a falsifier, and 2, you're not aware of what would falsify a globular Earth.
Yeah, so you would have to have a change, okay? Everyone thinks the Earth is flat and stationary. They conduct themselves in this manner, shape, and form. Then they change after they realize the Earth is a globe. Once they visualize it, they fully understand, it'd be an instant cognitive shift, declared by Edgar Mitchell and other people, that once you see the Earth, you cannot but understand how small and how fragile the Earth is. There is no countries. There are no boundaries. There's no separation between any people. And then the globalists are really the biggest flat earthers they are. They'll tribalize anti-tribalistic ideas. Because for them, somehow they need the Earth to be a globe to match a different worldview that they're not willing to or explain or take questions on. What they really think somehow is the heliocentric model offers proof that there's no God, there's no creator, it's all just sort of nihilistic. We're just spinning through the vacuum of chaos, and everything's just fucking chaos. No one's in charge. No one's shot calling. You're never going to be held to account for what you do or say, which is a contradiction again, because the people who came up with the heliocentric model said the model's so perfect it could have only been made by a supernatural being. And what's the best part is they labeled that supernatural being God of the Bible, the Heavenly Father. And even then, you could say, well, that was contemporary, right? That doesn't match today. No, it's even more so today. The current director of NASA, Bill Nelson, said he's personally spoken to God, and God said he handpicked Bill Nelson to lead NASA at this critical juncture to return men to the moon, to return America. And then he said, too, that each time he signs off, he says, God bless you and God bless America. Because without God, this isn't going to happen. The only way this works if God is on our side. And you can roll the clock back. Apollo 1 did the same thing. They prayed before every launch. They took communion on the moon. They read from the Bible. They stopped the mission in Apollo 8 to give the glory to God. So it's always been this supernaturally entwined thing. So the only reason why flat earthers, this debate is up in question, is that in 2016, atheists got destroyed. The theists completely destroyed atheism. It was done. It was in the garbage bin of history. Okay, third wave new atheists were completely defeated. They were on the retreat in every single aspect, and a lot of them rebranded themselves as humanists or some sort of other secular, non-spiritual, spiritual idea. And then they also branched off into fourth wave and now fifth wave atheism. But for some reason, there's a group of assholes, third wave atheists, who just needed to get a win before they rolled off into the sunset. And for some reason, they picked flat earthers because they thought that'd be a quick kill against a group of people they saw were deeply religious. But what turned out is that flat earthers are a huge cross-section of the population. Lots of different faiths, lots of different ideas, lots of different education levels. It's not just one thing they can put a tribalistic idea that flat earthers are all super evangelical Christians. In fact, a lot of them push back on that idea because of how intertwined the heliocentric model is with Christianity. And then to this day, they still just won't take the fucking L. It's been 9 years later, or 7 years later. They just won't take the fucking L. They've been ringing the cowbell since 2018 when they said, hey, we're going to go back to the moon. Okay, that's 5 years now, okay? Elon Musk in I don't know what year that was, he said he's going to go to Mars. Okay, he said he's going to do it in 5 years, best case, 10 years, worst case. He's got 2 years left to get the people to the moon. They have no plan to even to return to the moon now. Apollo 2 is never going to happen. You can take that to the bank. The vehicle, the setup they have now is not feasible. They're going to have to radically change what they're doing in their plan. They're talking about they're gonna have to refill in suborbital or in Earth orbit some 17 times to get back to the moon. Like the mission, they're gonna do this long sort of epithelic, whatever it's called, orbit that takes 7 days to go around the moon. What are you going to do if there's a problem on the lunar surface when your team, your ground team, has lost contact with the orbital command structure for 4 days? They get no communication. What are they going to do? It's just a fucking shit show. Okay, going on at NASA. It's so over budgeted and costs so much. It's so behind schedule. It's done, dude. It's just basically at this point just kind of like an advertisement for like, hey, NASA's doing something other than nothing. It's just a matter of time before it catches up. They spring back and you're like, you know what? Now the space station, Skylab 2, that's canned. Okay, that's not doing anything either. They got what they wanted. They got to Roki Doke, the NASA into Space Force, and they don't care anymore. That's it. That's the end of the story. This is a manned space flight never coming back to humanity. It was one thing that Richard Nixon pulled off, and he used that God picked America because God loves capitalism. And that's it. That's the end of the story. There's no second chapter. That was it. And now it's just going to be marching ever closer to an extinction level event when some asshole, hopefully not an atheist, gets put into power and they're going to push the red button. And then extinction level event. It's a petri dish. You're living in the petri dish and the nasty just keeps growing and growing and growing. And eventually it's just going to boil over and it's done. It's over. It's all over but the crying. So the only thing you can do now, okay, instead of putting your head in the clouds and trying to think about what if.
Are you still going, Crit? I zoned out.
You zoned out after all that. After I broke it down for Big Bird and Barney style. Yeah, you're actually bricked. It's fine. It's nothing new under the sun. You're bricked today, you'll be bricked tomorrow. You're going to stay bricked. Until you're able to start comprehending some things that people are telling you, you're going to stay bricked. And you should be able to use the heliocentric model to unbrick yourself. But in a twist and turn, that's what's bricking you, okay? You should be able to expand your imagination out there. There's if the heliocentric is true, there's a version of you who gets it, who's able to come in these conversations and understand and comprehend and then say why you agree or why you disagree. But yet, in this Earth, it's not possible. It's not possible. That's why when I used to work with a peace movement about nuclear disarmament, give peace a try. Because somewhere out there, there's an Earth or something very close to it who got it right. They were able to nuclear disarm. And once you realize that it's never going to happen, then you like, why? Why is that? Why do we live in a model of cosmology where anything is possible and nothing is possible at the same time? How do you sort that contradiction? Just do the Brit method. Just brick it.
Brick it, yeah.
And that's what a lot of people do. You ask them some questions about the heliocentric model, they have no fucking clue. You ask them about the ISS, and some people think it's like halfway to the Andromeda Galaxy. Boldly go. They really think when people talk about the ISS, it's some sort of space station like Star Trek or Star Wars or whatever. When you tell them it's 200 miles up in the air, they're like, oh, that can't be. I've seen it in space. They're like, oh, yeah, they kind of redefine what the definition of space is. Because when you ask a person, just a layman, what's space? Well, that's the stuff in between Earth and X. Like when you go to the moon, okay, there's space there. When you tell them, what about the atmosphere? Is the Earth's atmosphere, is that outer space? They're like, oh, fuck no. Then you tell them about the ISS is about 200 miles up in the atmosphere. And they're like, oh, no, I've seen photos. It's in outer space. And then you show them, here's a citation. They're like, holy fuck. See, when people realize what NASA's doing versus a propaganda, the same thing with CIA. Like you go to the CIA's website and you read it. And they're like, standing on the foreguard, the vanguard, protecting America from terrorists and other evildoers around the world. And then go to the CIA's Wikipedia page. Unethical medical experimentation. All kinds of scandals, one scandal after another. There's really nothing that the CIA's ever done that worked out well. It always turns to shit. They're like the biggest failure ever. Like they've created more problems than they've actually solved. And they'll create a problem, try to fix it, and make it worse. So, but if you go to NASA's website, they go exploring space for the betterment of humanity. Go to Wikipedia. It's like Challenger, Columbia, Gorilla Suit, Poop Coffee, over budget, underfunded, just nonstop bitching about how they can't do what they said they've done.
Do you remember when we started talking to the Globers about the poop coffee, and then their rebuttal was, "It's not poop coffee, it's wee coffee."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Is that better though? Like, isn't this just still the same?"
I'd rather have pee coffee than poo coffee.
Yeah, that was Manufactotum. He said the person who made the graphic they probably should have demonstrated the person sitting down and taking a shit. I'm like, well, that's the graphic they told you. And then Don Patet said, that's exactly what you're thinking it is. No more questions.
Yeah. So, I mean, it might be pea coffee. It might be poo coffee. Do you really want to drink either of those?
I'd take a pea coffee.
You'd take a pea coffee?
I'm weird.
Are you okay?
I'm weird.
That was Eggshells had talked about cat poop coffee. Like he drinks cat poop coffee.
Well, I believe that, to be fair.
Yeah, there's actually a thing that they feed these special type of cats, like in South America.
Is that Brit now?
Yeah, you're talking to Brit.
Yep.
Oh, is he Brit? You would drink pea coffee?
No, I wouldn't actually. I was joking.
Yeah,
I did learn earlier, Philae, that Crit plays with Barbie dolls. That's what he told me.
No, that was Newton. Newton played with dolls.
Oh, you played with Barbie dolls.
No, I said G.I. Joe guys are pretty close, or people who play with like World of Warcraft and shit. That's like a virtual Barbie doll.
Sure.
But I don't get that. I don't want to make too much fun of it. I don't understand the whole video game culture. But I didn't grow up with it. But I suppose if I was, if I got that. But when I see people talk about their World of Warcraft or other MMOs, I go, dude, you're playing with a Barbie doll. What the fuck? You're dressing it up and putting clothes on it and
based.
But then it's kind of hard because I talk about role playing, playing role playing games like Tabletop Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. They're like, it's the same thing. I go, oh, okay, sure, whatever.
It kind of is, though. I mean, I played Warhammer, and it's kind of the same.
Yeah, well, I mean, like when I was talking more about when they got this character, the paper doll that's interactive, and a lot of the men, like this is where me and Veach had a falling out because he plays World of Warcraft and he played a female character, and I'm like, dude, like what? You're playing with a Barbie doll. You're actually good. Yeah. Like you give it hairstyles and all this other crazy shit. Like,
Harry Styles.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, come on, man, come on, And he got super pissed at me, and I'm like, dude, I'm just calling it like I see it, okay? Like this is like a virtual Barbie doll.
Yeah, it's not great, to be honest. You play as a female character in a virtual game as a man. I mean, I am worrying about your testicular fortitude at that point.
He said he wanted to look at the backside of a woman compared to the backside of the man. I go, dude, it's not a woman. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, it's like a female orc or something. But it's that's not good.
It went to that when I used to joke about how when you tell globalists the Earth is flat, what they heard was you took away their fantasy of making out with green alien chick.
Yeah.
Like they can't relate at all to Earth women, but somehow they're going to be able to relate to an alien woman. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Does that surprise you? Like the amount of these guys I talk to, none of them have set foot in a gym ever. None of them a lot of them don't even recognize gender as being legit. I mean, I don't recognize gender as being legitimate, but it's the other way around, right? I think the gender's a stupid idea, and the biological sex theory thing that actually exists. But they take it the other way, and they say that, like, well, you know, like there are infinite genders and all this other bollocks. It's just like, is it any wonder that these people can't relate to normal people who understand the world around them on an instinctual level?
You can't say that about Crit though, because I know he's like 80 and everything, but that doesn't mean that he can't lift a weight, you know.
So what?
Crit's an old man. Push him a leaf would blow him over at this point.
Probably, but the point isn't that like someone doesn't go to a gym, therefore they're an idiot. That wasn't the point. The point is that they don't have any normal kind of parts to their personality as a general rule, and they'll argue with it and they'll tell you, "Oh no, I am normal, I promise." But a lot of them, they don't understand how to talk to women. They don't understand basic fitness. They don't understand diet. A lot of these guys are just very strange outsiders. That's what I'm trying to say.
Discord for you. You know what? It just dawned on me when you said that about talking to girls. I actually haven't met one married flat earther yet.
There's loads. What are you talking about?
Is there anyone that I know?
Bear in mind,
Dude, you never have met any flat earther in real life. Just
no, on here in this room.
You know me though, right?
Oh yeah, but you don't talk enough for me to know anything about you.
I'm a married man.
Think about it this way, right? Flat earthers, a lot of flat earthers are Christians, and Christians get married very easily because, especially male Christians, because there are so many women in churches. Like the ratio of females to males in churches is favouring the men, right? There's more women generally. So if you're talking about married men, Christians, like that's all day long. Like I don't understand why you think that's an issue.
Well, yeah, they typically are. I mean, I'm not allowed to say they're typically Christians. I got in trouble for saying that before. But I think that there's another twist, which is that the typical religious person, yes, they get married and have lots of kids. But there's also that flat earthers are on the social outside, right? I mean, I guarantee, I'd assume if any of you have any dating sense, that you don't tell your partner that you're a flat earther on the first date or second date or third date for that matter.
Yeah, you're right. I don't.
Because it would not go well, right? Obviously, right?
I've done that before.
No, because I actually want to get laid, so no, I don't.
Yeah. But there are very religious people in here that, as far as I'm aware, are quite old now, getting on a bit, and not been married or divorced, right? Nothing wrong with that, though, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, you seem to have conflated being married with being able to talk to women in a normal way.
Oh yeah, not the same thing. I agree.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
There's a large spectrum of flat earthers.
Because I'm not married. Fuck.
But you're a Chad, right? You're like a fuckboy, as they call them, right?
Am I? I've actually never spoken to. I've never even spoken to my mum, so I've never even spoken to a woman. I didn't realise that a Chad and a fuckboy was the same thing. I thought they were different.
Well, some people usually compare the two. I mean, there's a whole thing which is that some people think an alpha male is someone who has sex with lots of women, but it's not, obviously, because an alpha male in any species, right, that you look at, the alpha male of that species, the wolf, the gorilla, they're not always the most muscular, gets all the women kind of creatures. They're usually the most intelligent ones with leadership skills, right? And so, some people think that being a gym rat and fucking loads of women is being an alpha male. I mean, I think it's far more impressive to have a family and kids, right, than it is to just be a muscular dude that's probably had 7 instances of chlamydia.
Only 7.
Yeah.
That this week, or?
I had a friend at uni who, pretty sure he had chlamydia every week.
Jesus. Yeah, that's not great. I mean, I know that a guy has had chlamydia at least 7 times.
Yeah, from this call, from this very call, actually.
5 of them from you. Yeah, I mean, I guess I think the way that I see like an alpha, let's say an alpha male, is that he gets what he wants from life and from social situations, and so that's not necessarily to be like sexually promiscuous, but it might be, right? But I would certainly say that a non-alpha has less choice. So if you wanna be like, for instance, I really enjoy my job, and I think that's like being a professional DJ is one of my kind of, it's a chosen career. Like, a lot of people told me, "Oh, you'll never, it won't be worth it. You won't earn enough money. There's too much competition. Too many people want to do it." And I just fucking did it anyway, right? So, and I succeeded at it anyway. So, I mean, some people might say that's alpha. Some people might say, "Yeah, whatever. You got lucky." Cool. But that's kind of how I conceptualize it. It's not necessarily as streamlined as you, like women like you. Like, I mean, I think that's one element of it, but there's way more to life than just like banging girls, right? And so I think,
yeah,
a true alpha would have options in every element of his life.
I wouldn't say that. I think things like money, property, girls, and muscles, and all those sorts of things that people associate with being an alpha male, I think really what it comes down to is being a good person, having leadership skills, so people want to follow you, right? Rather than you being the follower. I've already said intelligent, and also obviously to some degree having being satisfied with what you have, right? Not feeling like you have to compete against other men because you're quite happy with where your life is going. You don't have to compare yourself to other men, right? That's an insecurity that, like, not something you'd associate with an alpha male if they had that quality.
I think insecurity is a necessary part of improvement, because maybe insecurity is the wrong way of saying it, but I certainly think that you need to want better for yourself in order to get better for yourself. Because otherwise, let's put it this way, right? Let's say there's a guy who sits at home all day, doesn't want to earn more for himself in terms of money, or he doesn't want to improve his fitness. He might not be insecure. He might be completely happy with being a slob, but you wouldn't necessarily call him an alpha male either.
Well, that's because I think there's a part of you that has like the Sneeko or whatever podcast I do, a masculine alpha male. I think that there are threats where you should be insecure, but in the good sense, like there is a threat, right? And you have to be able to defend yourself. But when it comes to like you haven't got the best car in the neighborhood, if that's your insecurity, if you don't have the biggest house on and all your friends on Discord have bigger houses than you, you're missing the point, right? Of
I see what you're saying,
of being confident with yourself, right, and where you're going in life. And if you're not happy with the way you're going, you know that it's not about what other people are doing; it's about yourself, right?
Yeah, I get you. It's like if people buy a BMW because it's a BMW. It's like, well, does it drive faster than other cars, or does it actually give you what you want, or are you just buying it because it's a BMW? And you probably find that half of BMW owners bought it because it's a BMW, and they wanted to show off to their mates.
Exactly. You want to be independent. You want to be an independent male, not someone who gets something because they're trying to impress someone else. You don't need to.
Right? Yeah. I see that. But also, some people are shallow and they need to be impressed in that way. So it's like, do you want to achieve that or not? You know, does that matter to you? I think like a really good example of someone I would consider an alpha male is, but a lot of people find a bit strange, is Kanye West, because Kanye West gives no fucks. He just doesn't care. You don't like him, he doesn't care. and I actually really like that about him.
He said, "You can't tell me none."
I think alpha male. If I was going to think of an alpha male, I would probably think of like, the good boss, right? Like the boss that you have at work. If you had several jobs, I don't know if DJs have bosses, but a boss at work where you're friendly with them, and they're more of a leader than a boss, or like something along those lines.
Sure, but I mean that's not like a person that we can all refer to, is it?
No, I mean like I could like name like I don't know, prime minister, right? Is a boss of people, and there's some very strong alpha sort of prime ministers, and there's some weak ones, right? And you can determine which ones are different, right? And Tony Blair, for instance, was a very strong Margaret Thatcher, a very strong prime minister, had a lot of control, and people followed them, right? It's like
yes. See, I think Tony Blair was a snivelly twat. So
yeah, but he looks that way. But like I said, that you don't have to always be the most muscular guy in the neighborhood to have power, right?
I never said anything about his muscles. I thought he was a snivelly twat by his personality.
All right, yeah, but I mean, he was very. He introduced the idea of the armchair politics, where basically he would invite ministers into his office and he'd sit with them casually on a sofa and talk to them, and that kind of method disarmed ministers, right? So he was able to use that sort of like small tactic, charismatic tactic, to kind of get what he wanted, right? That's an alpha male. That's what an alpha male does, right?
Mm. Yeah, I can see that. I still think he's a snivelly twat.
Yeah, he is. Of course, he is. As are all our prime ministers.
Yeah, of course. So he's an alpha snivelly twat.
Yeah, exactly.
How do I make that make sense in my brain?
I mean, there's some things, even if you don't like his politics or like his personality, if you were stripping that all away, you respect him as a strong leader, right? Like he was powerful, strong, had a lot of authority, right? And he got there basically through his own means, right?
Yeah, but there's also something embedded in that where you have to respect the current power dynamic, and I don't. So,
but even if you're like a complete anarchist, right, like someone who completely hates all sorts of state power, there are things that you can respect about individuals who have power, right, and say like that is pretty impressive, right?
Yeah, but I not in the political system. Like, yeah, I don't know. I would respect someone a lot more if they'd earned it by force, to be honest, than by deception and cunning.
I mean, there's some people in this room that are quite charismatic and alpha-like. Like, the people who will say things, and then there are people in this room that will just copy what they say. Take what's his name? Because of the Q. QE, I think that's what he's called. He'll say things, and part of his charisma is the fact that even if he's saying dumb shit, he's very charismatic to the point where half of you will repeat it, right? And the same with like Globus, obviously. There's some charismatic Globus.
I really don't think you could describe QE as charismatic. There's a lot of positive qualities, but I don't think charisma is one of them. I definitely wouldn't just find charisma as someone repeats something you said. I think there's some people who are scared of him because he's so loud, and I think they just repeat it because they're scared. But
I mean,
charisma doesn't see it. It's not the right definition.
It's more like the effect of his charisma is that people will follow him, repeat what he says, and hold him up, right? Even though doesn't. I don't think he puts himself on that pedestal. I think other people put him on that pedestal because they want to follow him, right? People do follow him, and that shows some good leadership and charisma.
So whoever gave you the idea that the bridge, the tops of the bridges were pointing away, was that a charismatic presentation? Must have been.
Who said that?
You. You're the one who said. I was just asking.
No, who just spoke? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, by the way, old Hosfred, I have to call someone out in your honor. Philae said that most flat earthers are religious. Just saying.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that.
Old Hostred had a go at me last time I said that.
No, you always throw the Hail Mary.
I didn't.
I swear some of you are high when you're talking to me on Discord. Like Old Hostred sounds like he's just had several joints before he started speaking.
Britt, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Jealousy is a terrible thing.
Yeah, I didn't say that most flat earthers are Christian. What are you talking about?
You said religious. You said, I think you said most or usually. I can't remember which phrase you used, but it was like along that vein.
I'm pretty sure I would have, my phraseology I would have said many or typically.
Yeah,
I
sure.
wouldn't have said,
Yeah.
But
that would imply most anyway. So
I don't think so.
Well, if something's typical, it would apply to most cases, right?
Many wouldn't though. I mean, if I use typical, then I misspoke. But I'm saying it's not unusual for a flat earther to be Christian, but certainly it would be, to say that most or all of them are would also be wrong. So let's just say it wouldn't be unusual for a Ferrari to be red, but they're not all red, and most of them are. That makes sense?
Yeah, I understand.
So
Besides, that's correlation causation. Anyways, you're the one, Britnat, who's always saying that's the cause.
I've never said it's a cause.
Yeah, when you throw that Hail Mary, you say, hey, well, everyone thinks in here, the main reason why people in here think the Earth's flat because of God and religion, right?
Oh, you're getting it the wrong way around. I think that, look, if I thought religion was causing people to be flat earthers, there'd be a lot more flat earthers, right? There's a lot of religious people in this world. There's billions of them. There's not many flat earthers in comparison.
Yeah, they're called heliocentric.
But I think in the cohort of flat earthers, I think I'd say a vast majority are probably religious. Not all, a vast majority though, for sure.
Did someone with charisma tell you that?
Oh, you see, I've got my own charisma.
Yeah, I was still trying to get the level of charisma that his bridge presentation that he was floating earlier, how that went earlier.
I think Into the Break is my biggest fan. It's okay. Many such cases.
Imagine the charisma of the person who got all these astronauts to drink that coffee.
Can you imagine? Yeah, just drink your own poop. Yeah, and piss. Yeah, it'd be great. I love hard in it. Brittna, how much money would I have to pay you to make you drink your own poop?
I'd say 2,000.
No, just present the idea to him charismatically.
10,000 for poo, 5,000 for wee.
You're cheap.
Yeah, but like £10,000 just to drink poo.
I can do it right now. Let's go.
All right.
I will pay you 10 grand right now if you take a dump and drink it.
Okay, but you have to make it like some sort of contract so that I can sue you if you don't give me the money.
And you have to film yourself as well.
Yeah. Post it in the 24/7 Flat Earth channel.
All right, who wants to see it? Come on, guys. Show hands. No one wants to see it. Sorry, bro.
Crazy.
I'm amazed that I would never do it for that kind of money. Can you imagine the health issues you'd get from doing that?
It'd be like a week. You'd feel ill for a week, right? Maybe. But it's, you know.
And your reputation will last a lifetime.
The thing is, I would hate it. I'd probably throw up several times, but it's only a few minutes. Imagine like £10,000 for like 10 minutes of work. I mean, who wouldn't take that? Think about the hour, GP per hour, you know?
No, there's potential health implications forever.
I've seen a lot of videos to suggest otherwise.
Oh, I would never do that. I don't think there's... I mean, it would have to be life-changing. 10 grand is not enough.
Well, if it was something that might give me some serious long-term illness, it would have to be, you know... You got to think, like, if I was going to go to court, how much would they give me if I had... for the injury I've suffered? And to be honest with you, feeling ill for a couple of days isn't going to... I mean, I'm not going to put $1 million on it, because then who's got $1 million? What's the point in asking for it?
Yeah, but I mean, you would get ridiculed every day for the rest of your life.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, I could just say, I got £10,000 out of it, I don't care.
Yeah, but people would still laugh at you.
That's fine, they can. At the end of the day, I got $10,000 for it. Pay more than the Prime Minister.
And then somebody with charisma comes along and swindles you out of that 10,000. What then?
I'll do it for $2. Camera on.
Are you the charismatic one, Mr. Break? You never answer my questions.
Well, you never ask him.
I just said, is he the charismatic one? He's ignored me.
Hello, Meta. Your mic's opening. No. What's up?
1 sec. I'll mute.
Oh, I wasn't telling you to shut up. I was just saying I saw your mic blinking.
He was telling you to shut up.
I don't even know who's talking. It looks like I got an update and now my Discord's all fucked up. Like, what the hell? I don't think my headphone or voice cancellation is working.
Yeah.
Yeah, phone.
Get a computer, bozo.
I'm gonna restart this.
Oh, Edibet's back. My best friend. He loves me.
Yeah, my Discord's so fouled up since the update that BritNet's not even in my screen on the list of. So it's like you're just a ghost, basically.
My name's Yui on Discord right now.
Yeah, no, Yui is not on my thing when they show the PFPs of the people in the chat. You're not the only one. It seems it's since the update.
Right, I finished work now. I'm done.
What's a more charismatic idea, BritNet? Water seeks and finds its level, or water is curving around the surface of a 39-59 mile radius ball?
What's a charismatic idea?
Which is the more charismatic idea?
Well, charisma is a personality trait, not an idea.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but you were saying that the reason why people are talking about flat Earth is because it was presented to them charismatically. So which of those two ideas has the most charisma?
Say that. I
All
said.
right.
I said.
Do you want to pontificate, and when someone tries to address something you say, you say, "Well,
I'll make it clear." I said that some people will follow people. For instance, a lot of flat earthers will regurgitate what QE says, right? Because he's got charisma. But there are flat earthers that very much probably got their views themselves without help, without hand holding. I think there's probably few in this room that did that, but there definitely are some.
Well, we don't live in a vacuum. So what is the more charismatic idea? Water seeking and finding level, or water wrapping around ball flying through space?
So, okay. I'm going to answer this question, but in a slightly different way. Ideas themselves and conclusions you come to.
Okay, I'll rephrase it. Who would have to have the more charismatic presentation?
You don't get a
for
presentation.
Either of those concepts to be acknowledged.
I'll answer that question pretty straightforwardly. If you have a position, whether it be correct or incorrect, it does not have any impact over how intelligent you are, how rational you are, how charismatic you are. You could arrive at any incorrect position you want and be the most intelligent genius this world has ever seen. And likewise, you could be the dumbest, bricked retard and come to the correct position incidentally, right? So when a flat earther says we're rational, no, you're not rational until you demonstrate that. Like, you could have just told me what you heard someone else say, and you're just repeating back to me what someone else has said. That doesn't make you rational. That just means you're a parrot, right?
So if you parrot the dictionary gives water seeks its own level for the example of level, a horizontal condition. That's not charismatic, but is that not knowledge?
Sorry, I was putting my work stuff away. What did you say?
So you would deny the example given in the Merriam-Webster dictionary of water seeks its own level for level is a horizontal condition?
If you say level means horizontal, then I would disagree with it.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. The dictionary says that, and then the example they give is water seeks its own level.
Yeah.
So you
why would I care what the dictionary says?
You denounce the Merriam-Webster dictionary.
Yeah, I denounce it. No, okay. It's helpful sometimes. It's helpful. Like, okay, the thing with dictionaries is, guys, this needs to be said. Dictionaries are useful to some degree if you want to agree on terms. But if you don't agree on terms, then your dictionary means nothing. It means nothing.
Dictionary means nothing because you disagree with what it says.
The definition of air pressure.
Good to know.
The definition of air pressure includes the word gravity. Do you think that definition's fine? No, you don't. So why would you?
Sure, I don't have a problem with it.
You're selective about your definition. Now we've got to listen to the dictionary. Now we don't. Now we do. Now we don't. We do when we agree on terms.
The unicorn's in the dictionary too. So you're saying level defined as a horizontal condition, and horizontal being parallel to the plane of the horizon. That's
I'm
just
saying,
like the dictionary describing
I don't care what your dictionary says. It means nothing to me. All right.
Hey, Yui, let me just ask you something.
I didn't write the dictionary, buddy.
Yeah, Yui, do you find it strange with the advent of all these online dictionaries that all of a sudden people are able to find definitions that suit whatever they fancy? These aren't books that are being pulled off the shelf. These are people clicking. Oh, look, level means the equidistant to the center point of a planetary body. See, guys?
Yeah, I mean, dictionaries have that quality where they can say anything.
Yeah, I'm asking you find that strange,
especially
with the advent of these online dictionaries.
So when it comes to technical topics,
that used to not be up for debate are now in a complete state of confusion.
I agree with you, but when it comes to
means curved.
I agree with you. But
Wonky,
there's a separation between the dictionary and technical definitions. So, for instance, I mean, in my field, right, and what I studied, if I was going to say what a state is, you could Google on a dictionary what a state is, but I have a very technical understanding of what a state is, meaning that I have an expertise in it. So I have a very different understanding, definition of what a state is to what someone who Googles it in the dictionary might have. So if we were talking about something technical, like when you say level in the context of water and physics, and where that's being applied in the context of that, you'd want to get me a paper, not a dictionary, right?
No, just go fill up your bathtub.
Pascal's principle. Yeah, there you go.
When I said context, what I meant
the context of your imagination, then level
the context
is not
of when
okay.
people use that word, if they're describing water as in the ocean, would they use it to mean what you're meaning it to mean? Would they?
Yeah, because you look out to the horizon and it's level.
Get me a paper then. That says that. A scientist, I don't mind.
Pascal's principle.
One, I'll take
Go
one.
look it up.
No, I want
Just
a modern
Pascal's
scientist
principle. One.
paper talking about
Pascal's
oceans,
principle.
and I want them to describe it as level, meaning horizontal. Go.
A paper saying the oceans are water?
No, I want them to say that oceans, which obviously are made up of water, right, are horizontal.
Oh, so special pleading.
Horizontal, please.
I thought you knew about logic, so special pleading.
This is definitions.
Special pleading.
It's not logic, it's definitions. I'm not making an argument. You're saying I'm
retreat fallacy.
It's semantics, actually. It's nothing to do with an argument. What I'm saying is that
retreat fallacy. Then
definition retreat. I've never said let's go with this definition. I said I will accept a technical definition for oceans being level and horizontal when you've shown me a paper saying that, not a dictionary. And not someone who died 100 years ago.
Well, what's level? All the literally all papers, all scientific papers.
Show me one then. It'll be easy to find one. If they say oceans are level, meaning horizontal, bring it up. I'll concede immediately. You were right about the definition. Semantics game, you win. You know? Just get one. I'll wait all day, all week. So, in summary, Hosride, that's when definitions have to be sorted, not through dictionaries.
Yeah, fill up the bathtub.
I think the physics of a bathtub might not exactly be what the physics of the oceans would be.
They're both water, sir.
Yeah. Does water always try to find its lowest... What's the word? Its lowest potential. That's the one.
You're seeking equilibrium. Yeah,
but also trying to find the lowest potential, right?
Spills over once you overfill it.
It's also trying to find its lowest potential.
Yui, what is science?
Science is the study of natural phenomena.
Here we go.
I put a little paper.
What do you think science is?
I put a little scientismo paper in the chat for you, buddy.
Yeah, it just said Pascal's law. So this is a scientist saying, this is a modern science paper saying, yep, the oceans are level and meaning horizontal.
Saying, yep, level, water seeks itself level, yep.
It doesn't say anything about oceans, which is really what you're trying to get
water
at,
seeks
right?
its level, yep. Oh, so what? The oceans aren't water?
No,
do you even know what level means?
The physics of water might change depending on what body of water we're talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do tell me. Tell me the paper.
What do you mean? I'm not sourcing your bullshit.
Give me the paper.
Give
me the paper that says
water
is of the oceans is not water. And
I said to you,
give me the paper that says that right now.
Do you believe that scientists say oceans are horizontal, meaning level? So level meaning horizontal. You said, yeah, all of them say that. And now you're telling me to do it for you.
Yui, the easiest way
I
to
just
prove
gave
that
it to you.
oceans are not horizontal
I'm wanting a paper that says what you're saying.
What are you saying?
I want a paper that says what you're saying, that the water of the oceans isn't water,
I'm not
and that
doing
it curves.
You have the
Yeah,
burden,
you're not
buddy.
going to do it. You're not going
You
to
have
do
the
it.
burden,
I
buddy.
gave you.
No, we're not
took the
doing this. You have the
burden.
burden.
I took the burden and I gave you a little scientismo paper. What now?
That didn't clarify anything that you were saying.
So you don't think the water in the ocean is water? Okay, good.
I'd like proof of your claim, not proof of something that's secondary.
That's an appeal to your own incredulity that the ocean's water are doing something else.
I actually made it quite specific, Hosrad. If I had said, find me a paper that says water seeks its level, sure, but I want it in a specific context. I said oceans are level, meaning horizontal, because that is what the context really is. Right?
Okay, the context is liquid. Do you not think that the ocean is liquid?
Oceans are made of liquid, amongst other things.
Yes, they're very good. Very good.
Salt, liquid, rock, yeah, lots of things. And they're also large bodies of water, very large, and they have waves, which, for instance, lakes don't. Right, their physics are different. Right,
lakes.
So I would like to.
Lakes have waves.
Well, no, they don't. They're quite flat compared to. They're quite flat compared to an ocean.
Okay, yeah. Do some research. Look at the Great Lakes.
Yeah, that's a massive body of water.
Wind causes waves, sir.
Yeah, that's a like if I'm saying
you can have waves at a swimming pool.
All right, whatever. A bathtub doesn't have waves. The physics of water in a bathtub is slightly different from an ocean. So I want it to be context specific. Okay, I made that clear.
It's water, sir.
And you said that exists, and I asked you for it.
Now you're begging for us to tell you that the ocean's water are an exception to what water does.
I'm saying
and listen, 10 years ago, Britnat, there was no controversy about the nature of water.
I'm actually saying you think there's no change in the scale of a bathtub to the ocean.
It sounds like because you don't have your specific, then you're just going to make up whatever story you want to make up. That's what it sounds like to me.
I'd say if you're going to make a knowledge claim, you better bloody well be aware of what context you're talking about.
So because you don't have the specific terms on a specific paper that's somewhere possibly out there that we can't find, you're going to be like, well, then it just works however I want it to.
Or I'm saying that you asserted something that you don't know is true.
You made an appeal. You made an appeal to your own incredulity. Is that a knowledge claim?
That's what he did.
Spare me the random fallacy call out, right?
Because that's what you
I'm not
did.
being incredulous. I'm prosecuting the
you
case.
said, "Oh, how do I know?"
Someone said oceans, because water. Because in a context where someone says water finds its level, they might mean a bathtub. But when it comes to oceans, physics might be slightly different, but you're not taking a consideration for that because that's an inconvenient thing to look at, right? It doesn't help you because you don't have such a source.
It's inconvenient for you.
The guy who said lakes don't have waves.
Yeah, where's your context? Where's your paper, buddy?
You have to demonstrate. This isn't pass the ball around. You still have to demonstrate your claim.
The water doesn't seek its own level.
This isn't pass the parcel. You need to demonstrate your claim still.
Yes, you demonstrate with your little scientismo paper, like you asked me. I gave you Pascal's principle, demonstrating level liquid, right? You agreed. The ocean is made of liquid. So where's your scientific paper showing that it curves?
In summary. You can't demonstrate your claim, and I'll take that as a satisfactory concession.
I mean, you could
Thank
use
you very
the same.
much. I'm here all week, guys.
The same paper I used, but you didn't even do that because you don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you haven't demonstrated.
You're not very charismatic.
Not everyone can demonstrate their claims, as they say.
I don't believe you. You can't demonstrate your claim because your claim is abject absurdity.
Well, I'm still waiting for you to
reality.
Still waiting for you to demonstrate your claim. I've been waiting for a while.
You need to accept reality.
Do a lot of talking, less googling on Google Scholar. Right? Do that.
I already gave you my source. I already gave you what you asked for.
I didn't ask for that.
Okay.
I remember it.
You didn't ask for water.
Was recorded, so I can clip it. I will clip it.
And then you agreed
I
that
said,
the ocean is water. You agreed
do
the
you
ocean is
have
water.
a scientific paper that says oceans are level, meaning horizontal? You said yes.
I gave you it.
All of them say
I gave
that.
it to you.
And
I gave it
all
to you.
you've shown me is something that is not talking about the same context.
You haven't given me anything that debunks Pascal's principle. And you haven't even tried to apply it
demonstrate
to
your
own
claim.
model. You could do that.
It doesn't
You could do
demonstrate
that.
you're extrapolating. You're extrapolating that to mean all water everywhere, no matter what body it is, no matter what physics are going on. That's not what's stipulated in that paper. So it doesn't demonstrate your claim.
Where it doesn't happen. No, you demonstrate your claim. You are claiming that Pascal's principle is wrong. So
That's
show
not
me
what I'm
that
saying.
curved water. Show me the curved surface of a large body of water. Show me that. What's your scientific little paper for that?
Just admit you
put it
haven't
in the
got
chat.
it. You
Just put it in
can't
the chat.
demonstrate
Go
your
onto
claim.
your
Just
Google.
admit it.
Go onto your Google. And find your
I'm
claim.
into the break and I can't demonstrate my claim. There we go. Say that.
I'm Yui and I can't demonstrate my claim. Isn't it?
Was that your attempt at a British accent?
Not a very good British accent. Not
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Are we doing accents here? No. Where's your
Amen,
scientific
brother.
paper? You asked for
Where's
one.
your
I gave you it,
scientific
and now
paper?
you're moving the goalposts. 'Cause
Amen, brother.
now the water in the ocean is different than all other water. So, which is interesting. I just want to hear what you have to say. I want to see your paper.
Right. In your paper, does it say that this principle applies to all bodies of water, including oceans? The one that you already provided.
Yes.
It does? Oh, so you do. Let's read it then. I'll control F ocean.
Go through it.
I'll
Bodies
control F
of
ocean.
listen. Hey, have you ever diagrammed a sentence, Britnat? Bodies of like when you do sentence diagrams back in school. Do you guys do that across the pond?
Do we do what? Sorry, say that again. I'm reading
Never
this.
mind, dude. Bodies of water.
This guy's slow.
Bodies of water. Bodies of what? Bodies of what?
Okay,
water.
I just controlled F ocean and body, and I'm not getting anything. What's going on? I was promised bodies of oceans.
The ocean is water, so check out liquid. See other liquid. See other liquid.
So it doesn't say what you said it said. Again.
No. So we agreed. The ocean is liquid, right? The ocean is liquid, right? Isn't it? The ocean is water, isn't it?
Oh,
liquid water, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Water seeks its own level, isn't it?
Oh, I thought you had
you've taken the black pill. You are a distraught young mind. I hope you do better for yourself. Accept reality, sir.
You know, if you can't beat them, say they're crazy. You know.
I beat you.
Oh,
you agreed that the ocean is liquid water. So good for you. Great concession. Thanks for that concession, buddy.
Do you think? Right, let's test another thing.
Oh, hold on. Add it to the list. Level is curved, and oceans and seas.
Let's add this to the list. Let's add this to the list, right? Do you think the physics of of water in a bathtub are identical to oceans? Yes or no?
The water is minus the salt.
No, in the ocean there's other systems involved.
Ah.
Yeah,
So
we're
they're not the
talking about
same.
the water
So why are you
itself.
scaling? Why are
Like
you
a
scaling a
fishbowl.
water from bathtubs to oceans?
I didn't.
Well, Mr. Hostrat did. He pretty
Yeah,
well
I
did.
did. Do it for you again. Bathtub, pool, pond, Suez Canal, oceans and seas. They're all water.
We're at the stage where the flat earthers aren't even agreeing with each other.
Is that controversial to say that list all consists of water?
I would say the physics of those bodies are different.
No, what's bodies of what? Bodies of what?
Well, physics. Show me your physics paper then that shows that they're different.
I'm not making
Do you
the
have any
affirmatives.
physics paper? Give me a little scientismo paper,
I've been
buddy.
waiting for about half an hour for you to source your claim, young
You
man.
got one. You already conceded. Water
I controlled
and
F.
the ocean.
Again,
They're same.
it doesn't say what you said it said.
It does. It does. It says liquid water. Well, it says,
you agreed.
It says
The
a lot
bodies
more.
of
It's about
water
pressure. It's about pressure. Yeah.
Pressure.
Level. So do you know, like, so you have level
back up.
water, so the pressure above it would be equal on all parts, right? You don't understand it, huh? You should watch like a YouTube video or something on it.
You
Hey, Yui.
You said to me.
Hold on, Yui.
Oh my
Yui.
gosh,
If you go to Niagara Falls, you'll see the Niagara River bending.
Yeah, he said to me that the physics of large bodies of water, like oceans, will not, show themselves be observable in the same sort of way as a bathtub. But now he's saying that the physics are the same.
No. The physics are the same. Show me different physics. What are you talking about?
This is
trying to put words in my mouth.
You saying
good
it's
try,
not the
black
same.
pill boy.
I'll clip you saying it's not the same, and then I'll clip you saying it is.
All right,
the same.
clip me.
Just a second, I've got a phone call.
Yeah, I didn't say no. I just said I wouldn't say that a bathtub and an ocean are exactly the same because there's fish, not in my bathtub. There's volcanic activity, not in my bathtub.
The seabed isn't porcelain, but what is inside the seabed and what's inside the tub is water.
Yeah, I didn't disagree with you.
I'll take it as a concession into the break.
That. I just was saying that the bathtub and ocean are different. They got different things going on. But the water
I don't
itself,
get sand between my toes when I get in the tub.
Yeah, so
the water's
I just
the
was
same
technically no, but abjectly with the water being level for the discussion of this purpose, yes. So there was no disagreement between us. It was an agreement, and that you can't have a scientific paper that shows otherwise.
That's all well and good. By the way, guys, I need to go to the pharmacy, so I cannot continue this conversation. So I'll be right back.
Yeah, a hot tub and cutting a hole in the ice to go fishing and swimming in there, that's different experiences too. Both water.
Yeah, he couldn't give me a paper debunking water seeks its level. Very sad for the Gloobers.
The funny thing is, he agreed with you. He agreed with it. He said, yeah, water seeks its level, but in the oceans.
Yeah, hilarious. But not always. Okay, show me this time, not always. And why?
Yeah, if there's an exception, somebody would have found it and published a paper on it. That's what I don't get about these Globers, man. Like when discoveries are made, people get famous on that shit. And so even when you bring up like who's measured the circumference of the Earth, like, oh, Eratosthenes did it, and it was like the most absurd story from 2,000 years ago, and nobody's ever like finited it since. Like, if somebody had discovered that, then it would have been like famous, right? Like, oh, we know it's exactly this. This is the first person that did it. Like, end of story. Show me the paper that shows this. So I agree with
But everyone's always muted here.
You said, why is everybody muted here?
I'll say everyone's always muted here. Like I came here earlier, everyone was muted.
Not always.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes there's some debates. So.
Now the debate ended long ago, but Britnat was just here. We were just pausing because someone was convinced that the waters of the seas and oceans have some sort of
curvature.
Yeah, well, no, they defy the nature of water. He agreed that what happens if you fill up your bathtub with water?
Yeah, it takes the shape of
Yeah, it takes the shape, and at the surface, what's the water doing, sir? Okay. Well, this guy seems to think the water of the oceans and seas are exceptional to this. That's all. We were pausing after that.
Yeah, and somebody with more charisma told him that the just the tops of the bridges are slanted, but not the bottom.
Do they never wonder why, like, they never have any real footage from space? Like, footage from space, like, you know those things when they come out, like, it's like every 6 months or so, right? They come up with we found a new black hole, we found a new galaxy, right? And then it's like some CGI thing for like 5 seconds. And they never question it either. It's just some article, hey, we found this.
Brother,
even though we can't go to the moon.
You'll read the article, and then the little like sub paragraph underneath the image, it'll say this is an artist's rendition or this is an illustration of what they think is
They don't
going
even
on.
read
I'm
that.
like,
They
oh
don't
my
even read the
god!
fine print. Did you know you mentioned it? So I'll tell people, hey man, this is actually CGI. Did you not notice this? Like, it looks kind of like fake, right? Like, oh no, this conspiracy theory, blah blah blah. Like, they never have any real pics.
Nope.
It already ends there because everything else they're just assuming. Like, they always assume, okay, it's space in the ball and blah blah blah, but they never actually show space or the ball. And anytime you bring a flat proof to say, oh, that also works on the ball, that's basically the argument. Flat proofs work on a ball. And why is it a ball? Because CGI.
Yep. Like, I'll never understand it. Like, even when you're building a demonstration, right? Like when you're building a like an experiment or something like that, it's always done on a flat surface. It's never done on a curved surface. So I don't understand where people get this idea that we're on a
You know the thing is, they're actually flat earthers, right? Because when you tell them, hey man, everything's always flat, they're like, yeah, Earth is flat. It looks flat because it's just so big. So they're actually flat earthers.
Yeah.
So then everything else just relates to space. Like, okay, it's a ball in space, but when we're here, it's flat. Okay, well then show me the ball in space. But then there's only CGI. So we're back to square one.
Yeah, they're not told their geometry. So
you're breaking up, dude.
It's very tiny. You would see the globularity every day. A 3959 radius glob is very tiny, and you'd see it. You'd see it every day. It'd be very apparent.
No, when I can see a mountain like 50 miles away, it's like 3 miles is small. I shouldn't see any of the land between 3 miles all the way up to the mountain.
Yeah, and there is no accounting for the diminishment of the angle when they try to do the hidden height calculation. They put it in the orthographic view and then they take the hidden height from the full size of the mountain, right? Like on the side of Muppet Vision, on the side. And really, you'd have to cut that size in half, and then you'd apply the hidden height. So then you would never see these mountains at all because there'd be a big old hump in the middle. Remember, Jerry, when we had all the Gloobers, we had 5 of them, and they all had like different discernments for the Bob and Alice paradox. That was hilarious. They don't know if it's a curve, hump, or drop, or they're clueless. But they do claim that gravity causes a curved line of sight to the horizon. That's why the horizon looks flat, because it's just a holographic projection. Well, they don't actually claim it, but that is their claim.
Bro, who's pinging me, bro? Just unmute your mic.
It was me. I sent you a video. I don't know if you ever watched Wheel of Fortune, or if you've ever seen it before, but there was a puzzle on Wheel of Fortune.
Like a quiz show, basically?
It was a phrase that said, the world looks pretty flat, or the earth looks pretty flat to me. Like, everybody knows that it looks flat.
Yeah. I mean, dude, even Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? He says, well, it looks flat, right? Like, he even says...
You don't see the curvature of the earth at that height.
Yeah, exactly. Bro, you know, one time I was, like, ad-libbing. I was doing these, like, it is Photoshop, but it has to be. What you're seeing here is a mirage. And then I got, like, labeled a ball tart just for doing that. Like, what? Bro, everyone in this VC always thinks that the other people are ball tarts. It's crazy. That stuff is flat. Remember? And then he like even did the hand, his arm out like that, like a flat motion. That stuff is flat. Remember that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can't see the curvature from that height. That stuff is flat. Meanwhile, he says like the bulge at the bottom of the Earth, of the pear-shaped Earth, is as big as the size of Mount Everest from sea level. Like, okay, so like what? Why did we never see that bulge in the space pics?
Yeah.
And why did we never see flattened tops? Like it's doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like it's amazing. I'm proud of the celebrities that have been stepping out and voicing their opinion on that the Earth is flat.
Are there any recent ones, or is it all?
So I've seen. I'll post this video in the side chat. I thought I saved it to my phone.
I know, like B.O.B. and then what Kyrie Irving, I think his name is, the basketball player.
So Quentin Rampage Jackson, a few MMA fighters have come out and made the statement. Eddie Griffin says it. Who else?
Eddie Bravo, obviously, right?
Eddie Bravo, obviously.
Shaq.
And then his friend, who's
Shaq even made the statement.
Andrew Tate.
Wait, Andrew Tate believes in flat Earth?
He likes the concept of it. He can't understand why people get so triggered by it. The fact that
Mike
people
Tyson,
are so
too.
triggered by it. And Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's another one that said it.
Mike Tyson?
Yeah, Andrew Tate was calling people globetards once.
Yeah.
So he's read the stuff, basically. There's a boxer in the UK called Carl Frock. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He keeps alluding to flat Earth stuff. He's a flat earther.
We don't have time to speak to the Flat Earth Society.
Neither do we.
You know Djokovic is a flat earther.
You mean the tennis player?
Player, yeah.
Oh.
Jocko. Well, you've got to think he is. There's a video, right? It's like practicing. No, sorry, his wife is practicing, and he's in the stands, and he's watching something on his phone, and his wife starts shouting at him about watching flat Earth videos. And then there's another picture of him as well, where he's drawn. He's got this like card in his hands, and he's drawn a picture of like a flat Earth and stuff.
Wait, this is Novak Djokovic, the
Novak
Serbian tennis player?
Djokovic, yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
That's funny.
Is he still? He's not playing anymore. He's retired, huh? He's retired.
I don't know.
No, he's still playing.
He was like, he plays
still
tennis.
playing.
Like, that's crazy, dude. Because I remember him from like 15 years ago.
Yeah, I remember when he came onto the scene. It's kind of wild that he became the king. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of the third.
Yeah, he's always third, like behind Federer and Nadal, right?
Well, Nadal and Federer, but he now has he has the most Grand Slams now.
It's crazy.
And he's still
I was
playing.
like, I used to slightly root for Nadal back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to root against a tennis player. I love Gail Monfils.
Monfils?
Anyway,
Oh yeah, dude, I remember him from back in the day. He was like up and coming. What happened to this guy?
I think he still plays. But yeah, I mean, the guy spends all his time on a court, so he gets it.
I used to play tennis back in the day, bro. Growing up as a kid, I played tennis every single week.
Yeah, those guys on TV make it look easy.
I mean, like, if you think about it, I was gonna say, go ahead.
No, I'll just spit it out. I mentioned Shaq earlier. He walked it back, but he said, well, when I get on a plane and I land in China, I'm not landing upside down. Think about it.
Yeah, he got shamed out of it, didn't he?
Shaq's outspoken about the moon landing, though, isn't he? He speaks out about that for sure.
Yeah, it's weird. The NBA players, Kyrie's the only one who didn't walk it back. Steph Curry even brought up the moon landing, and then he on some podcasts, and then he walked it back.
Bro, can you imagine these dudes have like this big ass WhatsApp group where they're sharing flat Earth videos?
Somebody on the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team said over half the team are flat earthers.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. Yeah, there's a load of baseball players that are into it. There's like a video where a guy is commentating on a baseball match, and for some reason the commentators are talking about how like half the team are flat earthers. He actually says he names one player and says he's the smartest guy on the team, and he's a flat earther, and he's like offended by it. The commentator,
bro, the commentator might be flat earther. Dude, flat Earth is a thing where it's like, you know, like for all this like stuff they say about coming out and accept everyone and be tolerant. But imagine if you went out to your family or your friends or your next door neighbor and told them, by the way, dude, you're living with a flat earther. I'm a flat earther.
Oh, I do all the time.
Do they get triggered? Do they get triggered?
Most of them won't talk to me about it. Some of them kind of like the idea they want to learn or whatever, you know, like, what do you mean? And so they get kind of curious
I'll mention
or whatever.
it to some people, right? I'll mention like if they ask, like if they say, like for example, I was in a VC. Obviously, it's easier on Discord, right? I've talked to some IRL people, right, as well. But like for example, someone was like, "Oh, but you know, like those flat Earth VC, right?" Like you know, they use us like as like a thing of let me get an example of stupid people. All right, I know flat Earthers, right? And I'm like, I'm a flat Earther.
And but in public it's so funny is because usually it's like they'll make one or two claims as a globe earther, and then when it gets rebutted and refuted, then they immediately jump to, well, I'm not that smart, I don't have all that information in front of me, and blah 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 blah. And that's
like,
typically how it ends.
Earth, are you?
And it's like, I just tell them straight up, I'm like, I know more about the globe than you do, and everything that I've seen about the globe,
Guys,
it don't add up.
Guys, you are all now manually breathing.
Yeah, he's doing the manual breathing. Dude, I don't know why he spends his whole day trolling.
Wait,
like,
Runes
I
took
Yo,
a
can
break
you mute
for
this
like.
guy? Can you mute this guy, please? He's a troll.
I took a
Can
break
you mute
for.
this guy, dude? Thank you. He comes in every single. He's been doing this like he came in a couple hours ago doing the same thing.
He's a young kid, though. It looks like so. I don't know.
He's just like, oh, you're now manually breathing, ha ha ha. It's like, okay, cool. Now I'm manually. Okay, in a couple seconds, I won't be manually breathing. God willing. Like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, yeah, flat Earth is definitely a thing where it's like, it's equated with being dumb, basically. Because I know. Okay, I remember your point, right? Because like, I actually learned more about the globe belief while studying flat Earth. Right, that's the crazy thing. I didn't actually know much about it. I was like, oh yeah, I guess gravity and like space on TV and the globe in my bedroom. Yeah, therefore it's a ball. Next question. Like literally when I first heard about flat Earth, I was like, but there's gravity. That's so flat Earth is retarded. Next question. Right? That's my argument.
Well, like, so it was weird, right? Like, I'd heard about flat Earth here and there throughout my life, and every time I heard it, I would laugh and I'd think about the boat falling off the edge, right?
Bruh.
And so, like, I mean, I've since refined my argument. Now, like, when people ask me, "Where's the edge so I can jump off?" and I'm like, let's just play with that, right? Let's just think that there is an edge that you can go and jump off. What the fuck gives you the idea that you would fall down forever in outer space?
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? I literally just thought of this. This is actually very interesting. You know, they say you fall off the edge of Earth, right? Where'd you
And
fall
where'd you
to?
fall?
More
Yeah.
Earth? Like, more Earth then? Or where?
Like, you fall down in outer space and you're just going to continue to fall forever in outer space? Like, that's the dumbest
they
thing I've ever
probably
heard.
think, like, that's why I tell them, like, real quick, like, no, space is fake, dude. That's very important. Like, they probably think, oh, it's a disc in space. Like, it's not a disc in space, dude. It's not a space disc.
I tell them when they ask me, what do you think? What do you think's at the edge? And I say, look, you live in a terrarium, dude. Like, there's no way out.
Yeah, isn't that what's the Bill Nye the Science Guy said?
Right.
We live in a closed system. There's no way out. Something like that.
No way out. No
Earth
one will
is a
leave
closed
low Earth
system.
orbit.
Yeah. Earth is a closed system.
But they're like, oh well, what's on the other side of the terrarium? I don't know, bro. Put an ant inside the terrarium and then ask them what they think is on the other side of the terrarium.
Yeah, they think because like, what about Antarctica? And what do you
what's underneath flat Earth? I have no clue, dude.
Yeah, just because they like have a map of or like a globe thing in their room or on the internet, and like that map has it all figured out. Therefore, they assume, okay, we have it all figured out. What about you? Huh? Oh, you don't have it figured out. See, therefore you're wrong. It's like that's not an argument, dude.
I tell them too. I'm like, hey, so is the solar system, is it flat or is it spherical? What do you mean? Well, is it flat? Does it like pan outward like a in a pizza dish shape? Like, do the planets go around the sun in a pizza dish shape, or is it spherical? Like, do the planets go in all these different directions to create like a ball orbit all the way around? Oh, well, it's flat. So what the fuck is the difference, dude? The solar system's flat. The
how
Earth
it goes,
is flat.
how they go around.
Yeah, the planets move above your head. The planets are moving in their patterns or paths or whatever, and the Earth is flat. There is
I wonder
no
if they believe space to be a ball.
Well, that's as long like they're like, oh well, the planets are spherical. Like, okay, like, well, look, I'll give you that, right? Like, because I've seen a ball, they look circular. Okay, cool. I can go ahead and say that they look like spheres in the sky. I will give you that argument, but every orbit in the entire universe, according to your globe model, every orbit is flat. The entire universe is flat. The galaxy is flat. The solar system is flat. Everything is fucking flat. So don't tell me that, like, oh, everything's a ball. No, it's not.
What's the best place? Obviously, like, even on YouTube, you can still find some flat Earth content, right? It's just you can't search for it. You have to like go through the known channels, right? But
yeah,
like,
well,
where do you guys go? Like, is it like Is it like library or alt censored or what is it?
I don't know. Like, I'm guilty. I use Dave Weiss's 24/7 clock app, Flat Earth clock app. And then from there, I've like, because he's got everything in a playlist, and so when I click on it, like anybody that's new,
I have a flat Earth playlist as well.
I found Crow 77 there. I found I found lots of people from going through there, and then just
What's
being
it called?
in the community.
Flat Earth Clock.
Flat Earth. I think it's like FE Clock app or Flat Earth Clock app.
FE Clock app. Is it like online or is it in the App Store?
Yeah, it's the App Store.
Your best bet is TikTok. It's still relatively uncensored. You can actually find.
I mean, YouTube still has people up. I think Eric Dubay, ODD TV. They still have like their channels, right?
Like,
It's just if you type in flat Earth into YouTube, the algorithm is set up just to have the top 10 flat Earth proof debunked, and why flat Earth is retarded, right? Why you're a retard for being a flat Earther, right? Like that's usually what they have.
I follow BOB, Beyond the Imaginary Curve.
Beyond the Imaginary Curve. I am also following that guy, but he's kind of boring, to be honest. I don't really watch.
Brother Sanchez. The Chief Crow.
Yeah, do you know who IPS is? Infinite Plane Society.
IFERS?
No, that's Dubay's thing. But Infinite Plane Society, he's just an atheist flat earther.
Do you guys know Jake the Asshole? Jake the Asshole?
Yeah, Jake the Asshole's doing NFL fraud videos now. But yeah, I remember Jake from the good old days, the Powerland days. There's Brian Mullen. If you search his name in Balls Out Physics, those videos are still out there.
Nicholson, 1968.
I feel like the best one is Eric Dubay, though. It's still like my go-to.
What about
Rob Skiba?
What?
Rob Skiba?
What about Jake? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say Rob Skiba is a
Rob
good one.
Skiba, isn't he like a kind of controlled opposition or something?
He's no longer with us.
He's dead?
Yeah.
Who is the guy? Is it Flat Earth Society? Like they have like this stupid thing about don't they like believe in space? The Flat Earth Society?
Yeah, they say we're accelerating upwards at 9.8 meters.
Honestly, let me tell you something. Anyone who believes in a flat disk in space is more retarded than a baltard.
Let's see. Tyler 432 is another one.
Damn right. You're like, all
Brian's logic. That's he's my favorite one from Flat Earth Debates. Brian, he'll give you a lot of good information. Quantum Eraser, the guy that guy thinks is so charismatic. I don't see it, but
what do you guys think of ODD TV?
I mean, they're one of the OGs.
Yeah, OGs.
Yeah, definitely. Dude, I remember like back in when I looked into this. I think 2016, 17, 18, somewhere around then. Maybe 19. It's all a blur, but I remember like Eric Dubay, ODT. This is like the time when you could like literally go to youtube.com, go to the search bar, type in flat earth, and you would get like Eric Dubay, ODT. You get all these people. It's like, whoa. And like now it's just, now you just can't do that.
Yeah, you used to be able to go to the live tab and then just put flat earth debate. And then there's 10 different streams, all open panels.
Dude, it was great. I remember the days where ODD TV had this thing, like this 24/7 flat earth live stream, where he would there would be like these different videos, flat earth videos, just going constantly on and on and on. I would that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you still have, I don't think he still has that. They're all heavily censored. So.
Flatzoid, Flatwater FE.
Oh, Flatwater.
I was going to say Flatzoid. I'm in his chat every day because there's a bunch of Gloober goons come into his chat, so it's pretty fun. We have a good laugh and at Flatzoid.
I heard some stuff about Globebusters though, that they're like controlled opposition or something.
No,
Globebusters is Jeranism. What's it?
Yeah, Jeranism. That's like these people. I heard they're like controlled opposition.
I don't prefer.
They did a hit piece on Jeranism.
Whatever.
They did a hit piece on Jaren when they did Behind the Curve. That was a hit piece.
Yeah, and on Bob, and it really, and I think it made them more like stubborn too. with certain claims that they had made. But still, to this day, there is no experiment contained there is no Bob's experiment contained within that film. So a lot of Gloobers are going around thanks Bob, but unaware that there's nothing. They don't have a clue what they're thanking him for.
Yeah,
it's pretty sad. And then the one where Jaren's he didn't calibrate his little laser level or whatever. That one's funny because they try to say that proved the globe, but actually it didn't prove the globe because it still wasn't what would be expected of globe geometry. So just because it didn't go through the little pinhole doesn't mean that automatically it's glob. That means that your geometry still failed, regardless.
What happened to that? What
These
happened
Gloobers
to
don't comprehend logic.
Dave? What happened to the black British guy? Dave? You remember that guy?
I think he did something.
It's
He
called
became like, I don't know, like a black
allegedly
like
Dev. Sorry,
vegan
man.
dude.
Yeah.
Urine therapy dude. Like he went completely like new age.
Yeah, that was weird about those people.
He became one of those like, oh, I don't need a driver license to drive a car. Let me test it out, and then you get arrested.
Yeah, that guy you're
He's a-
talking about is called allegedly Dev.
Allegedly, Dave. What happened to that dude? Is he
I think
still around?
he's still about. He doesn't debate so much. I think he's just generally around them.
He had that one legendary interview though in the Japanese TV or whatever it was.
Isn't he
Like,
like
I remember-
leader of the Black Israelites or something like that now?
Yeah,
He
he's
was-
something like he turned into like this like vegan urine drinking black Hebrew Israelite dude.
Do you know he was also a fireman on 9/11? It's like a photo shoot of him in all his fireman gear and stuff like that. And
E-Brain is another good
he's
one.
some sort of shill. Yeah, allegedly, Dave.
There's this ODD had this like this 1 hour thing, which is like till this day for the 1 hour format, probably the best video on Flat Earth. It's like called like Flat Earth Documentary or something like that. And he has like different people. He has like Jake the Asshole. He has Dave in that interview. He has Eric Dubay. It's really good. Yeah. And he has stuff from Dave's interview on I think it was Japanese TV or something.
But yeah, you find all these people just by being around for a while. Like eventually people will post a video somewhere and like, oh, cool, another YouTube channel. And then you surf through that. And you're like, yeah, I'll follow that account. They got a lot of information.
You follow them where?
You just hit subscribe. Like whenever you see a video pop up in the side chat or something like that, you're like, oh, okay, let me look at that person's channel. You're like, oh, they got like 50 videos. Okay, cool. I'll follow them. That's all I do. Hey, good talking to y'all. I'm gonna step on out. Hope
All right,
y'all
man.
have a good day.
Peace, bro. Good to talk to you.
There's nobody talking.
Hey, yo, I'm gonna assassinate the American leader.
Shut up. Imagine being that cringe.